Here are the top 10 lessons that I've learned to stay productive and actually get things done despite being a full-time mom, despite having a kid, a baby right now, and despite having only 2 hours a night to do work. I'm still able to make videos and publish them on YouTube and build a side business. To be honest, when you have a baby and you still don't sleep through the night, productivity tips don't matter. You don't need them because you're productive by necessity. Like, I know what I need to do. I know I have a very small limited amount of time to do it, and I know that if I don't do it within that window, I lose that window and the next day comes and I never get that time back, because that time, I can't find that time and I can't make that time anywhere else. Maybe it helps to have a constraint on your time, such as having a baby. I mean, I'm not recommending you have a baby. I mean, I am. I really love it, but if it's not for you, it's not for you. But I know what I want to do with my time. I want to spend the daytime with my daughter. I want to do fitness stuff when she naps. I want to do work at night. I want to spend time with my husband. Like, there's all those things. Once you have your priorities straight and you know what you want, then you get after it. It becomes a lot easier to get after it. So that's the biggest tip, without even getting into the tips, is that one thing. If you're gonna get one thing from this video, it's to just know your priorities. It's like the thing that Warren Buffett says to the pilot guy in one of those stories, where he's like, list 25 things that you want to accomplish in your career or your goals, and then cross out the bottom 20 that you don't want to do at all, and then with the remaining 5, that's all you focus on. That's all you focus on. The bottom 20 are things that you absolutely do not do, because those are still good things, but they're distractions. So only focus on 5 priorities. It's only a handful. You don't have that many things that you can do really well. Let's just jump into the tip. The first one is be very comfortable when you're transitioning into your work block or whatever. My work block is 2 hours at night right after Allie goes to sleep. I make sure I have my water. I make sure I have gone to the bathroom, have put on comfortable clothing, have done all the things so that when I start work, I turn on the computer and I sit down, that time becomes a long block rather than, okay, it's been 15 minutes, I'm feeling a little thirsty, let me get up. I'm feeling like I have to go to the bathroom, let me get up. All those times that you get up are chances to be distracted and not come back to your desk, because transitions can go from like this little to like huge. Transitions can just take all that time away so quickly. So that's the first tip. Go to the bathroom, have water, be comfy, get to work. The second one is set aside a 2-hour block every day that is distraction free. Yeah, so if you do have a baby, like, you can't have a block in the middle of the day. Like, she could wake up from her nap, she could cry. I mean, unexpected things happen in the day. So make sure it's distraction free, make sure it's a certain time period. If you can't do 2 hours, do 1 hour. Have a 1 hour distraction free block. Distractions are just the bane of productivity. You can't be productive with a bunch of distractions. Maybe some people can be, but I can't be. So set aside that block, put it on your calendar, set an alarm, do anything. But when that time comes, show up. Just show up and be comfortable. The third tip is start with a small daily task that makes going to work a lot easier. My task is to sit down in my office and turn on the computer and open up Notion. That's it. This task takes less than 5 minutes. Ideally, you want it to take less than 2 minutes, because according to James Clear, you know him already, author of Atomic Habits, that when you want to build a habit, you want that initial first step to take less than 2 minutes, because the easier it is to do, the more likely it is that you will do it, and then you'll be consistent. And consistency is the best. Every time you show up, you say, I am a consistent person, and then the more you become a consistent person, the more likely you are to show up when the task gets harder. So make that task really small. If it's like to work out, the task is put on your workout clothes. If the task is to read, sit down on the couch, I don't know, open the book. You don't want it to be hard, you want it to be easy, you want it to be fast, and you want it to be able to check the mark day after day after day after day. And after a year, you're probably going to be doing a lot of work. You're probably going to be working out. You're probably going to read that book instead of just opening it. Tip number 4 is break down big projects into small tasks. Like a video, filming this video could be broken down to writing my notes, turning on the camera, filming it, editing down the A-roll, adding in the B-roll, adding in music, exporting it, taking a thumbnail, publishing it, and that was a bunch of tasks. So the whole task is not make a video for YouTube. No, that's just way too overwhelming. That's just too much. If you break down each one and do like 1 to 2 tasks a day, then it's more likely the thing gets done because you spend less time being anxious, being overwhelmed, being in like, oh my gosh, it's such a big thing mode, rather than just doing the thing. And doing the thing is easier than being anxious about doing the thing, if that makes sense. It's like if you're gonna do it anyways, you might as well skip the anxious phase and then just jump into it. Number 5 is do the biggest task before doing any small tasks. Like admin work or emails or whatever small things that you think you need to do. I try not to do any admin work at all. Focus on your main task first and focus on that. Do that first. If there's only one thing you need to do a day, do the main task, not 10 small admin tasks. Number 6 is decrease transitions or get rid of them entirely. Like I said before, transitions are just the bane of productivity because they lead to distractions, which just you're wandering away now. You're not going to sit back at your computer. They suck time so quickly without you even realizing. Number 7 is do not multitask. Focus on one task at a time. I know a lot of you, like me, think that we're great at multitasking. I used to do this all the time back in school, and I would like watch a TV show while studying, while doing something else, and I'd be like, ooh, I'm doing great. Truth is that was just ineffective. Maybe the task was just too easy or whatever, but when you have to do a real hard task, focus on only that task and then do the next one and then do the next one. It's faster than trying to do it all at once. Number 8 is a tech related one, and it is just to have one monitor. When you have 2, you can have distractions. So have one monitor. It's like an automatic gateway to just being more productive. It's sort of like having an app blocker on your phone or on your browser that blocks like social media sites whenever you try to open them. It is like a tool you use that just automatically makes those decisions unnecessary. So it makes your life easier. And number 9 is create open loops instead of closed ones. If you're done with a task, look at the next task and just jump right in. That way you open a loop, you open this unfinished task, and when you do take a break, your brain is like, oh no, I didn't finish that. So you'll be more likely to come back and finish it. If you take a break after finishing it, your brain is like, oh, I'm done, I'm good. I don't want to start something new. I don't have time. It's just a mental game with yourself in a way. And 10 is don't worry too much about productivity. Know your priorities, know what you need to do, know why you want to do it, and then do it. Time is so limited, especially when you have kids. So you might as well be building something worth building instead of consuming other people's stuff. And that really hit home with me, especially with the limited time that I have. It's like I want to produce and I want to create. I don't want to consume. When my kid grows up and goes off to school, like I want to know that I did something meaningful with the first 5 years of her life. Like I made time to build something meaningful. I made time to prioritize my health and fitness. I made time for my family. And I didn't just sit there and like scroll through social media or consume a bunch of content, whether it's like productive content or not, it doesn't matter. I want something to show for myself after she grows up, and I think that adds a lot of meaningfulness into my life, is like being a good example, setting a good example for her, which is something that I never thought about before having a baby or a child, but now it's becoming like the forefront of my life. Like I want to set a good example in like what I eat, and I do exercise, and how I'm not on my phone all the time, and how I read, and how I work, and how I manage money, and like there's all these things that I want to be a good example. I can show her that I can do hard things even when it's hard. Like showing up today was hard. Especially after Easter, I took a few days off. Showing up was hard, but here I am. So know your why. When you have a really strong why, then any how becomes a lot easier to do. Anyways, I hope you are more productive